whenever you're ready, Stephanie. Okay, ready to go? We don't need a...
Recorder died, so we're just gonna go with the video.
We're gonna go with the video, okay. Okay, welcome to Historic Preservation Commission agenda for Monday, May 8th, 2017. I am Chairperson Alderman Mark Stoyer. I'm here. Roger Retzlaff called and said he will not be able to make it. Dave Boyce,
Here.
you are here. Susan Lee. Oh, okay. Hi, Dennis. Dave Boyce is here. Susan Lee said she will be here, but not quite as of yet. We got Janine Mead is here. Patty Olson.
Here?
And Dennis Doucette.
Here.
All right, so we do have a quorum. All right, approval of the minutes from the April 10th and April 20th, 2017 HPC meetings. Does anybody have any comments on that, or I'd entertain a motion? Anybody? Entertain a motion to accept the minutes?
Like to move to approve.
Okay, by Dave Boyce, do we have a second?
You weren't here.
You weren't here. You weren't here.
No, you weren't here.
You weren't here?
What, last meeting?
April 10th and 20th.
I was here
second.
the 20th.
Me too, yeah, not the 10th.
Okay, well, we'll make mention of that. I was at both, so I will second those. Okay, all in favor? Aye, all opposed? Okay. Communications, request by Alderman Worry that staff and the developer provide an update and address any concerns regarding the renovation and preservation of the Hotel Northland. Okay, do we have any?
So what we're gonna be doing for that is having the people from the State Historical Society come up and give a brief presentation to you all about the inspections that they've done so far to make sure the project's integrity has been intact. The staff hasn't really been involved in an inspection side, so Jason and Wendy have both been in contact with people who have been working on the project at the state. So we're hoping we can get them up here in the next month to give a presentation on that.
Okay. I'd like to add one thing. I had a chance to meet with, hi Susan. Susan Lee is here. I had a chance to meet with Christopher Howell, who is the CEO of Tweak Garrett, one of the larger contractors on the project, and he plans on having some of the contractors and subcontractors come to the building on Thursday at 4:30. Now, I haven't really spoken to administration about this yet, so I'm not sure of your thoughts, but we were directed, Alderman Worry did bring this up, and I thought that it would be an opportunity to go to the building. So I don't know, Wendy, do you have any thoughts on that, or? I think the big thing right now is that we're, with all the intrigue and things that have happened with the Hotel Northland over time, we're at a point now where one of the things that I'm interested in is to make sure that the various parties are made whole, if you will. And having an opportunity to visit with the contractors, I think would be big in terms of what their stake is, what they feel that, if things are moving forward, if they aren't, I'd like to hear that. So my thought is that we would do that, and I will contact administration, and if any of the alders would like to come along with that as well. Tentatively, it's going to be Thursday, and that would be for our HPC over at the Northland. So
I'm going to recuse myself from
yeah,
that.
I was going to ask about that.
Do we know time?
4:30. 4:30 at the Northland. So thank you, Dennis, for that. So that's what I wanted to add to that as well. So when I hear from him, when he contacts me back, I will contact you, Stephanie,
Okay.
and then we can move from there.
However, you're all invited to the wet wall next week.
Okay, I'll put that down too.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. All right, anything else then on that?
If I could get a motion to refer to staff so that we can take care of it in-house to get them back into the room for you guys.
Okay, do we have a motion? Do we have a motion for that?
I make a motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Whatever.
Second
One of
by
us.
Dave Boyce. All in favor? Aye. All
Aye.
opposed? Okay, thank you. All right, new business, design reviews, number 2. Consideration with possible action on a building permit application for front porch replacement at 1208 South Monroe. Look here. Okay, do we have anybody here for that? 1208 South Monroe, okay. Well, has anybody had a chance to take a peek at it? I was looking for some,
A little bit further down, but since there isn't a representative here,
yeah,
um,
well, it would be nice to speak with someone on
Yeah.
that. So Stephanie, I would suggest that if this person is interested, that they need to contact us in some way.
Okay.
So,
We revisit this.
yeah, unless they're, if it's time sensitive, I mean, somebody needed to let us know, so. Janine,
But I
did you
feel if
wanna?
they were on the schedule for today, they should have been here, and we shouldn't have to have a special meeting.
No.
Just because they didn't show it today.
Right, it's, you know, we're pretty open-minded on things, but I think we need to.
Yeah, if they just don't.
All right,
show.
so with that, Janine, did you want to make
yeah, I
a
was gonna make a
motion?
motion to, table this until June meeting. This-
Okay, all right, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Patty Olson. Any other discussion, all in favor? Aye, all opposed, okay. All right, next, unless he shows, if he shows up in the next 10 minutes.
Feel free to reopen.
Yes, thank you. Number 3, consideration with possible action on a sign permit application for 313 Dousman Street. So, let me just- okay, do we have a representative for that? Okay. And your name, sir?
Greg Maddock,
How do you spell your last name?
M-A-T-T-E-K.
E.K.?
Correct.
Okay. I might have guessed that on the third one. All right, can you just explain the project briefly?
Yeah, this is all part of the conversion of that building from Hinterland over to Copper State Brewing Company. So the sign project, and I think you guys probably in your packet have sort of the hand-drawn artist rendition of the mural that we're planning on putting up. We had looked at a number of options for doing something with the existing Hinterland mural there.
Mhm.
Very quickly determined that sandblasting was not in anybody's interest.
Interest?
Right.
So that'll just be part of the building?
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
yeah, so then it really comes down to painting over what Hinterland has there. The only challenge there is Hinterland's logo is rectangular, ours is circular, right, so it does change the shape of what is on the building. Our intention is to, where our logo wouldn't cover Hinterland's, is to paint the brick to match, paint over theirs to match with light colored.
and I've driven by there dozens of times, but as far as the size of that right now in the building, any idea roughly what that size is?
The existing is roughly 20 by 10.
Okay.
Right, so they maximized up to the 200 square feet that.
Is that what- okay, all
And
right.
that's what we'll be doing as well.
Okay, so you're gonna paint it and then put your new logo over that?
Yep, that's exactly right.
All right. Did you speak with inspection? Well, I don't know if you did speak with inspection on any of this beforehand. Probably not.
On the
Does-
sign, on murals?
With all the
Mayor?
signs, he's been working with Mark for doing the sign permits, so that's all I got here. So they're ready to go, I think. I think they're originally
Did
the
you-
whole run list.
Did you contact OBI at all on this as well? I mean, what we've done in the past, we're.
On Broadway?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
yeah. I think a lot of times they'll say, well, we didn't hear about it, or vice versa, but I would think that, if they're good with it, that type of thing. So was there any feedback from OBI?
No, again, because it was just replacing.
They're just
existing.
replacing?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the sign itself, and I looked at it a little bit, so it's made out of.
Yeah, so you actually
aluminum?
have two different sign projects. The page that you have flipped in your left hand there.
This one?
Yep, that's the mural that we're talking about.
That's the mural.
Yep, and then the page that you have open there, facing that page, that is for new signage along, that would be along Dousman, right on the north side of our building, to try to get some visibility
Okay.
as cars go across the bridge there.
Right, because I'm just thinking right now, there really isn't anything like that now. that I know of.
And, no, there.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to brainstorm and I'm looking at that.
Yeah, what Hinterland had done on that side of the building, they had 16, roughly, and I don't know the exact dimensions, they have a rectangular mural on that side of the building, which is really not visible from any direction other than coming just a
Okay.
little bit due south on Broadway.
Well, at first blush, I look at this and it's very nice. I like it. Committee, do you have any comments at all?
That's a very good logo. I've got a book on different logos, and
Yeah.
company designs and stuff, and this is superior.
Thank you. I feel like we spent a long time trying to figure out
How to come up with?
sort of incorporate everything we want to stand for in one.
It's all worth the effort, because out of the thick book, that
Right.
This stand out.
this would be in amongst some of the best in the book.
Thank you. Thank you.
So so the logo here that's painted, you have two different colors?
Correct. Yeah.
But on the sign, I don't see it.
Yeah, you don't have a color.
Well, I don't have a
copy
color
of that.
copy.
Yeah.
Oh, there you
And
go.
there's a rendition.
Okay.
That one doesn't quite capture some of the white that'll be involved, but it's those are the primary colors that we're using.
Well, it definitely has that feel of a hop, would you say?
That's
Is that what it is?
exactly right. Yeah,
Thank
the shards of the state are meant to
Shards.
represent our mining heritage in the state, and then the hop in the center is obviously the
Okay.
beer.
I used to work for a sign company, and I think if you were to have road sign advertising, I think that the black and white is so stark that it
It
would
is.
stick out. I recommend not using the color when you advertise this outside.
Yeah, we have a number of different versions that we use, and to me, sort of the black and white one is one of the strongest.
Okay.
That's number one.
Yeah.
How long have you folks been going, per se? I mean,
We took occupancy of the building on April 3rd,
Okay, so you
and I have been.
haven't
living there
had any
ever
other,
since.
this is new, but this is,
Right.
yeah. You will get some soup, right?
Right, one of these days. Yeah,
Yeah.
thankfully, there are a number of us that are part of the group, so it's.
Well, we
been able to spread
we
it.
welcome you to the neighborhood. I think it'll
We're
be
excited.
a great addition. All right, any other comments? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion. Unless,
Just a comment about the window replacement.
oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason,
You want to, what are you asking on that? Oh, on the back, okay,
Yeah,
the
that-
facade,
There's
okay.
a comment there about window replacements and.
Yeah, what, can you explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so that one actually,
Coming for us.
I was reviewing the agenda before I sat down, I didn't realize that was coming up today. And this one, I guess we will just have to apologize, is not understanding all of the process for working in the historic district.
I'm just wondering, you've already started it though, correct?
Those windows are in, yeah. Those windows are in.
Okay.
And what we did, in looking at the windows, when we took occupancy, actually before we took occupancy, they were rotten. And we
Right.
actually felt that they posed a safety issue, and that the glass panels were, some of them were duct taped into place.
Oh, I was gonna ask Stephanie, on something like this, you know, there really is no permit needed for that, is there, right, at this time? For windows, what was it, windows?
Siding and roof.
Right, and I think that's something that we're looking at as we move forward, so, you know, it is what it is. Normally in the past, or what we're striving for is that we have some say beforehand,
Yeah,
you know, just to keep the integrity of the building, and, you know, and like I said, you might have a fine interest in how things are gonna look, but, you know, there's, sometimes you might miss
Yep.
a nuance or something.
yeah, and again, that one, we certainly apologize that that didn't come before
Is,
your committee beforehand.
is this the only window that you're replacing?
No, all of the windows in the building were
So
replaced.
how many have been replaced at this time?
100%,
All of them?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, like I said, there's no, we don't have an ordinance or anything that, you know, so we can't do
Which I
anything.
understand, it's a good comment about good.
Right, I appreciate you bringing that up, but that's one of our points that we're looking at, you know, windows, siding, and also roofs, things like, or there's something else too, isn't
No,
there?
it's just those three.
Just those three?
Now, the windows that were replaced, did you replace them with the 3/1?
They're the exact match.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, so we didn't change the look at all, other than these ones won't fall out. on
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully.
If I can chime in too, I wouldn't have known that the windows were being replaced had I not seen it happening. And then looking at all the new ones, I was debating whether or not they were the original ones that had been pulled out and replaced, but logic kicks in, that doesn't make sense. But they're a spitting image of what was there.
Okay.
Just new.
Now, the old windows, was there any salvageability with those at all?
No,
At all?
they were so round.
But the paints and that, but what about the glass itself?
I suppose the glass would have been, Packard, they loaded them into their truck, I'm not sure where they.
I think, one of the things that we're looking at in Green Bay is the possibility of getting a place that we can bring some of this materials to, so that, they can be reused if possible. So that's one of the pushes that we're going to be looking at in the near future as well, so. This is for future reference.
Now, I did hear roofing in there, and right in the spirit of full disclosure, we are having roofing done with the building. It's a flat roof right now, it's a rubber membrane roof, and we're having that replaced. I don't know if that's something that the
Well-
committee is interested in.
Well, any kind of information you can lend to us, it would behoove you, I think, if you could.
Yeah,
We'd
and that
appreciate
one
it.
is, literally, it is a like for like. The rubber membrane that's up there right now is in serious disrepair.
Is there any leaking going on, that you know? Oh, yeah.
Yep, every time it rains,
It's-
we feel very fortunate that our entire building is made out of concrete and not wood frame.
Yeah.
So, we get water, but it doesn't hurt anything, other than the fact that there's standing water in the building.
Okay.
So, we'll put in a new rubber membrane.
Okay. Do you have anything else, Stephanie, on that? or- Okay, does that help? Yeah, I appreciate you bringing that forward. Okay, anything else? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion, if anybody, unless somebody else has some other comments. I think that the integrity is there, granted, it's, as we move forward with our committee, we're gonna be looking at holding to the letter of the intent and that, and I feel that you're doing that at this time, so I have no issue with it. So I would entertain a motion. For approval, is that what it is, I presume? Okay, because we're just looking at the sign permit application right now. Okay, so Dave Boyce, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Susan Lee. Any other discussion, all in favor? Aye, all opposed? Okay, all
Thank
right,
you very
Greg,
much.
you should be able to go into inspection tomorrow, and, right? What'd you say, tomorrow?
Margot can follow up with you.
Sounds
Yeah.
great. We
Do
appreciate it.
you have a card? Otherwise, if you need to get a hold of me at all, I'm in council, so.
All right.
But you can always work with Stephanie.
You have a card? Maybe two cards.
Let's see how many I've got today.
She saves cards. Well, that's good. Well, once your grand opening.
June 1st.
June 1st,
So
okay.
it's coming up.
Do you hear that? Write that down.
We'd love to see you all there.
That's fantastic. All right, well, Greg, thank you for coming in.
Absolutely, thank you for your time.
Retail citizens, All right, approved. Okay. Next. Number 4, consideration with possible action on a future building permit application for 100 South Jefferson Street. So, number 4.
I should note that a building permit has not been applied for yet, but we knew it was coming, so we wanted to get on the agenda so that way they could pull it once they were ready to do the work.
Okay. And I know that Mr. Mindel, we have it on here, talking about the courthouse. You can thank Mr. Bill Mindel over there for saying, don't forget that. So, it is a county project. Actually, the Wisconsin State Historical Preservation Office has review and approval authority over this project, but I'm trying to think when the original dome was replaced. Bill, do you remember that? That had to be,
Actually, it's never been replaced.
it's never, or not replaced, but go ahead. Are you,
I'm Doug Marsh.
hi Doug. Are you representing?
I'm the project manager.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I don't want to steal your thunder.
No, that's fine. I'm with Brown County Facility Management. We're part of Brown County Public Works.
Okay,
And my job title is facility engineer, although I'm not a PE. I'm actually a registered architect and lead AP. So the copper dome that you see on the courthouse is the original copper dome. It's 105 plus years old. And due to age and condition, it's literally, it's just time to replace it.
okay.
And we are, our project is basically replacing the copper dome with copper and copper panels that are there now. In fact, the roofer is gonna take the old panels off and use those as a template.
Oh, okay.
Some of the mounting may be a little different, but the panels themselves and the way it looks will be the same. All the ornamental trim will be replaced, same. We are also going to be restoring the clock faces, the clock mechanism, or upgrading and modernizing the clock mechanisms and upgrading the computer controls that run the clock. And then we're also restoring the exterior limestone base and mortar joints, as well as some interior brick masonry.
Okay. Who's working on this right now as far as,
The project engineer is a firm out of Chicago, SGH, and I'd have to look up there because I never use it, my
not that
apologies.
familiar?
It's Simpson, Gumpertz, and Hager. They do a lot of this type of work across the
Across the
nation.
country, okay. I just wanted to see the pedigree that they have.
Yeah, they have multiple offices around the country.
Okay.
The local architect that'll be on site day-to-day, week in, week out is Performa Inc. from De Pere.
Mhm.
They actually were the principal architectural firm of record when they were part of CPR back in the early to mid-90s
Okay.
and renovated the courthouse building back then.
Well, I just
And,
remember with the work that was done in, I don't know, was it the 80s? I mean, I thought there was something that had been added. I mean, these are the originals, but it
Yeah.
was just,
The lantern, which is the cupola element
Yes.
on top of it, that was replaced in 2009.
okay.
And only the bell and the supports that you see in the lantern were replaced. So everything above the top of what looked in copper, what looks like a fence or a railing,
Mhm.
that's still original.
Okay.
So the dome, the county board wants to keep the dome copper bright, does not wish to see it patina. The seal on it currently is failing, and our department, in the last 5 to 10 years, has not gotten the funding to remove, clean, and reseal the dome. And so the reason why it's dark is the seal is failing, and the copper is trying to oxidize, trying to patina under the seal.
Oh,
So, but that'll all be replaced.
okay.
The new dome will be sealed with a boiled linseed oil per the Revere Institute guidelines and recommendations.
Mhm.
And Brown County Public Works currently is budgeting in future years so that we at least have a significant portion of the funding available without county board approval for resealing, which would have to occur every 6 to 7 years.
Okay.
What's the estimated cost for the?
Yeah, well, I was gonna ask them too.
We were fortunate, our bids came in under budget. We budgeted just over $2 million, and our contract signed with the contractors Structural Preservation Systems. They're out of Elgin, Illinois, and they do a lot of this work around the country, particularly on the East Coast. They've done a lot of this type of work. The contract we signed is just over $1.6 million.
I replaced a Cimeter dome on top of the Biltmore in Miami in the 90s, and it was 1.5 million, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You guys are price.
Okay. Well, so you're pretty happy with, so far, just the scope of the project, and you
Yeah.
feel comfortable
Yeah.
moving
This,
forward?
this is phase 3 of a 3-phase project.
Okay.
I've been
Okay.
working on this
For a
project
while.
through those phases since early last summer.
David?
I've been attending recent meetings of the Green Bay Public Art Commission that just started up. I'd like to see if there's a way where maybe you could offer them a chance to recycle some of the old copper, like to make it official memorabilia or something like that, so we can kick back some money over time into the county, far above the scrap price, for that particular historic material.
Are you looking to create some kind of artifact from that material, or?
If it could be saved in bulk and sold over time, it would bring quite a bit of money eventually to the county.
Unfortunately, the salvage and recycling of the copper panels is built into the contractor's price.
I see.
So they get that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we will be pulling off 2, maybe 3 copper panels and a couple of sections of ornamental trim and giving that to the Neville Museum
I see,
to archive.
for archive, okay.
If you could save just a little bit of that for local artists, you know, you might go for that.
I'll see what we can do.
After the fact, you know, you
Yeah.
might mention that.
Don't lose sleep over it, though.
Yeah,
But,
it's best to speak up before it happens.
right.
Sure.
Well, you know, a lot of times when these things are recycled, if you will, a lot of times they just end up in a landfill. So we're concerned about, you know, many times when a building does come down, that, you know, some of this material is saved in some way.
The copper, for example, I was the project manager for demolition of the former mental health center.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
we salvaged and recycled and sold a lot of elements, components, and material from that building. So very little of it actually went to landfill.
That's great. Do you remember, with that project, do you remember some of the buyers for that material?
I'd have to
Okay.
go look. We
Right.
were working with Dean Hurt Recycling. I know the city had
Okay.
some experience with them, with the Washington project.
Well, I'm thankful you came in.
Yeah.
So I just noticed that the recommendation is that the Wisconsin SHPO approvals be recognized as sufficient oversight in lieu of Green Bay HPC review. So, is there anything to add to that, Stephanie, at all? Or Jason, do you have any?
And Chip Brown at the Madison offices reviewed our needs assessment, our 50% and 95% complete construction documents.
Okay, well, it looks very good. All right, well, so,
When are you going to be starting this?
Actually, the contractor would like to mobilize mid-May, and it wasn't until last week I remembered I had a conversation with the city's historic preservation consultant. My understanding he works part-time.
oh,
Right there.
Jason
Oh,
Flack.
okay. Thank you.
Don't, yeah, he's
And
sensitive.
so,
Hiding in plain sight.
yeah, so we talked late summer, early fall last year, and I didn't realize in the intervening time that I needed to come before the commission. Otherwise, I would have been here much earlier, and happy to do so. So, but rest assured, you know, we're placing like materials, you know, materials with like materials. We're following the Secretary of the Interior restoration standards, because we don't consider this to be a preservation project per se. We're really doing, you know, replacement and restoration work. And I understand that the city's building inspections department is actually going to consider this to be a roof maintenance project from their perspective. So,
Well, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you consider it a preservation project?
well, we talked through this with our project engineer, so SGH, and we also reviewed it with WHS in Madison, the Wisconsin Historic Society, and that was the consensus that the owner and the engineer and the Madison office determined. They're different guidelines, restoration versus preservation. We never, as the county, never considered it a preservation. We're really replacing what already exists and restoring it.
I guess people just think of that building as being historically significant.
Yeah, oh, it is. I mean, I've made it clear to everyone that the building is an architectural icon, the dome is an icon on our skyline, and,
Plus, you might have had another $300,000 from the federal government.
yeah, no, I've spent the last two years looking for grants and funding, and I've not found any, quite frankly.
No, I meant the historic tax credits,
Oh, okay,
20% from the government,
so,
from
yeah.
federal, state would care about it. So I'm
Okay.
saying.
But we're excited about the project, and I
Yeah,
hope
well,
you guys
good.
are too.
Well, it's definitely iconic, no doubt. Anybody have any other comments? Otherwise, Stephanie, what's your, as far as the motion, I mean, just a future building permit application, or just to approve,
Just for approval of that?
just for approval of that?
Mhm.
All right. Can somebody make a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Okay, by Susan Lee. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Janine Mead. Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? There you go, Doug. I mean, I know you're moving forward, but we appreciate you coming forward, even though it is a, county facility and you're getting work done by other firms. We're still within the city limits, so we're all brothers, right?
I'm a collaborative guy, and I
Sisters.
think we should all play well together.
Yeah, we
so-
should, yes. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Doug. Will there be an opening or a party for that too? We need to know these things. Get on our calendar.
At the moment, unknown to me.
I know, well, see what you can do, because we like socializing.
And one of the things we've talked about is actually doing an exhibit at the building about the project and the dome next year, because next year is the 200th anniversary of
Of
the
the
county.
county,
being
yes.
formed.
Well, that'd be fantastic.
So,
That'd be a great segue lead in. So, great, okay.
can't make any promises, but that's
Oh,
what
in your spare time. All right, thanks, Doug.
you bet, thank you.
All right. All right, number 5, consideration with possible action on a building permit application for siding and window replacement at 1118 South Monroe. And let's see, Donald?
Yep.
That's you, okay. I'm just gonna write your name in here real quick. Pardon my ignorance on this, was this the building at the end of Monroe, the green, is it green?
No.
No.
That's not that one, that's
Yellow.
12, that's 1221.
It's in here.
Yep, all right, we can pass those around.
I'll have a brochure from the siding as well, and a sample,
Yeah, that'll be the first thing.
if you want that.
Okay. All right, let's see, let's get to that point here. All right, so your relationship, you're the owner?
Yes.
Okay. Jason, did you have a chance to look at this?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and what's your, can you throw a couple of points
Well,
forward, or what's
you
your
know,
take?
generally I tell you to keep the wood siding, but in this case, it appears to me that the wood siding is, I guess I call it second generation wood siding.
Yeah.
The house was altered, some windows changed, some form of the house was changed. and-
Yep.
And new wood siding was put on at some point. With that in mind, I'd still prefer to keep it, but I would go ahead and recommend replacing it with the proposed siding, provided that the proposed siding closely matches the reveal.
The reveal is, I want to make sure the reveal is kept and the trim is close to the same width as possible in different areas. The fascia will stay, and there's a couple places where there were additions made to the house and the garage that don't have the decorative fascia. I'm going to put that back on as well, to make it, at least from all the street areas, look the same.
You're talking about the.
Yeah, a little kind of scallop on the ends and the bead in the middle, and then the bullseyes.
You're saving all, or
Yeah,
saving it?
and I tried to replicate it on places on the house that don't have it.
So the original age of the house now, what do you have for that, do you know?
120 maybe?
120, and then there was an addition in the back, was that
Yes, and that was maybe about 30 years ago.
30 years? Okay. I mean, if that's the addition, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, the windows that are there are not original, but the original ones downstairs don't have any grills in them, so I think they should match pretty well.
Well, like I said, the wood, so how long have you owned the structure?
17 years.
17, so has there been quite a bit of degeneration over that 17-year period?
Yeah, and, painting and
Right.
repainting and
Repaint.
And what's the size of the home?
3,000 square feet.
Okay. So Jason, in your estimation, you just don't feel that replacing the wood or anything like that?
You
is
know,
just-
if it was all just as it had been the day it was finished, then I'd get in a tizzy, but in this case, no, I would not say it's a good candidate for reciting.
So with that being, will that compromise the integrity of the historic district, in a sense? I mean, we're trying to
Yeah.
maintain that as well, and I realize that you're looking at it from a certain standpoint.
I guess this one is not a high priority property, and frankly, I guess most people don't really care about what the siding is. Now, from the Secretary of the Interior's perspective, the wood is preferred, but again, this isn't the original wood anymore. So
Okay.
So there's
So
no,
you, so even there,
it's a gray area.
if you're looking, literally, well, if you're looking at 120-year-old wood, I mean, chances are, you know, kind of, over time, that's gonna deteriorate.
Yes. Now, odds are that originally in the gable ends, this would have had some decorative shingles or something.
If I could find that, I would actually replicate that. If I could find a picture that showed me what it looked like and, you know, did it come down to the bottom of the eaves and then hit in the middle of the windows? I just didn't know.
And I don't have a.
And I've actually been looking, I actually tried to contact the granddaughter of the former owner
Mhm.
to see if they had any pictures of the house, and I've been to the Neville and to
Haven't checked them,
the historic, down the street at the Hazelwood. Nobody seems to have any pictures of that.
I was wondering, Janine, if you,
No, I haven't,
Neville?
when I was up in Neville, I had
Oh.
never run across any
Never,
pictures of
okay,
it.
because they do have pictures of quite a few.
Because I would love to do that, and, you know, even if I find some later, I'll go back and change it, you know, to try to match it. I just don't want to put something up that I think looks nice and isn't historic, you know.
So the color, what's the color gonna be?
Don't know yet, we're still working on that.
I mean, is that color bothersome, or?
No, no, my wife would like to keep that color. I was thinking of a dark red with maybe a dark green trim and some yellow in it, accents. Trying to think, something that would be more Victorian in
Well, we don't
color.
have, you know, and I think with some of these older buildings, there were color schemes, I think, that were set up years ago, you know, and I don't know if I have access to some of that, but Jason, is that something that strikes your interest at all?
If you look at the photos, they were all black and white back in the days. The color comes and goes, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter, okay.
I met with the people at 704 South Jackson yesterday afternoon, as you know, one of our
Yes,
award recipients
Right.
and for their exterior paint job, and there is a woman who they consulted with, I can't remember her last name, I have it written down, who suggested their color combination on their house. There's 704 South Jackson.
Okay.
It's the southwest
Sure.
corner of Jackson and Crux.
they might be able to lend some advice.
Yeah, the name of the woman.
They own the building, they don't remember the name, okay.
The woman who suggested the color combinations, Catherine somebody, I've got it written down.
Okay, so you can contact
It's in my notes in
Susan.
my car.
If you want to talk to Susan.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's see, is there any other comments? Otherwise, we're just moving forward, and do we have a motion for the building permit application?
Motion to approve the
Okay,
building
that's your need.
application as presented.
Need, okay, do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Patricia Olson, any other discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, Donald.
Thank you very much.
I know you'll do a fantastic job.
Hopefully I'll be back again. with
Yeah,
more
we're, like I
improvements.
said, we're looking for the integrity and all that.
And so am I. I love my old house.
Okay.
That's wonderful.
Don't, I'm not encouraging you to speculate for like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, yeah, like that.
Probably the gist of what was there.
And I was wondering on the porches too, if they, although, you know, because they're very square, and I thought they'd be a little more ornate on the posts and
Oh, yeah, the
stuff.
posts are,
But inside the house, they're all square, so. All
okay.
right, thank you very much.
All right, you take care. Okay,
Okay. Great. Excellent.
all right, moving ahead. Number 6, review of the April 2017 building activity
Great. I
report.
can bring you some pictures, you can tell me like what colors can go where. and-
Hold on for a second.
Okay, great, thank you very much.
So, let's see. Shadow Lane. Why doesn't that ring a bell? That's kind of out of
Over
order.
near Lambeau,
Okay. That, yes.
into the shadow.
The shadow of Lambo, it's gonna be just a shadow, it's gonna be a shadow.
$500,000 price tags and
Aye, that's amazing. Okay, anything else jump out at you? I don't see anything really, so I would entertain a motion if you don't have any other comments to receive and place on file.
outside of the district is.
What am I looking at? Oh, $200. That's, well, this is this one here.
Oh, that's
yeah.
the front deck.
Yeah, it's just the
Okay,
porch.
sorry.
Yeah, he's not,
That's a good.
so we'll. Yeah, I don't know why he didn't show, so I don't know if he'll contact you or the office. Okay, any other comments? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to receive this and place on file. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Okay, what you need, do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Susan Lee, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That passes. All right, next, number 7, review city raise and repair orders and demolitions. Jason, I don't know if you had a chance to,
It's a garage.
it's a garage.
It's not particularly important.
Okay. So when they said a building, this is the one in Kellogg?
Yeah, 715 Kellogg,
Okay,
recently caused to be inspected, the garage located at 715 Kellogg.
okay, so you're fine with that. Okay, is there any others besides that? Looks like that's
All
all.
received.
That's it? All right. If no other comments, I would entertain a motion to receive and place on file. Anybody?
So moved.
Okay, so moved.
I am.
You peeked out. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Susan Lee, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Staff project updates, 8A, the Whitney School, 215 North Webster Avenue nomination. So, Wendy, are you back there too? You're hiding.
Yeah.
Come on up. So Wendy and Jason?
Do we go up here too?
Yeah, come on up.
I don't know if
There's
you've had a
plenty of
chance
room
to
up
meet
here.
Matthew. He's our new development specialist in our economic development
I was
specialist.
here for the last meeting, or maybe
Okay.
it was 2 meetings ago, so.
We'll be seeing you.
I don't know if
Welcome
you had
aboard
anything to
again.
add to that one, pretty much.
Good news.
What was that?
It's good news.
It is good news. So, Whitney School, they are on the historic preservation agenda and in Milwaukee, and are on for Friday the 19th at 9 a.m. And I'm planning on going down to listen to the reading of that for the listening session. Jason, I think you got the memo as well? Did you get it?
It's in here.
Oh, it is, okay.
I'm just wondering for the minutes if we would, it's not that long, if someone could read that, would that be all right? Or do we need to? Go ahead.
2 local and state officials from Jim Drager, State Historic Preservation Officer, regarding the State National Register of Historic Places nomination. This is a letter dated April 14, 2017. We are pleased to inform you that the Whitney School, 215 North Webster Avenue, Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin, will be considered by the Wisconsin Historic Preservation Review Board for nomination to the Wisconsin State Register of Historic Places and National Register of Historic Places. The nomination will be considered at the Wisconsin Historic Preservation Review Board meeting on May 19, 2017, at the Schlitz River Center at Schlitz Park, 1555 North River Center Drive, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The enclosed agenda gives the times of the full board and committee meetings. Any questions or comments should be directed to Peggy Berrigan at the phone number. And the backside has that agenda, which shows that the Whitney School will be presented sometime between 9 and 10:45 to the Historic Committee of the State Historic Preservation Review Board meeting room. And
That's, when did you be there, right? Represent, that's good news. Let's keep that going forward. Is there, okay, was there some, go ahead with, as far as the other one too, Jason, go ahead.
We also received correspondence from the Wisconsin Historical Society. Letter dated April 19, dear Mr. Flatt, that's me. Thank you for submitting a National Register of Historic Places nomination for the Green Bay Downtown Historic District in Green Bay, Brown County, Wisconsin. The nomination packet is considered complete. The nomination will now be reviewed for content and editing. We will be in touch regarding any revisions or additions that are necessary. The nomination materials may be returned if substantial work is needed. The nomination is now in the queue to be scheduled for review by the by the Historic Preservation Review Board at one of its quarterly meetings. The review board meets in February, May, August, and December. Generally, agendas for the board meetings are determined 3 months prior to the meetings. Currently, due to the high volume of nominations, a nomination may be scheduled for the next meeting or may be deferred to the subsequent meeting. Generally, nominations for tax credit projects are prioritized. However, its place on a future agenda has yet to be determined. When the nomination is being scheduled, you will be contacted to confirm your availability to attend the meeting for your presentation of the nomination to the review board. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact Ian Gort at his number or by email.
Fantastic. So, do you have anything to add to that? Otherwise, I think the letters kind of speak for themselves.
Yep, nope, that's all on that subject. I was just gonna make comment that we did, lobby, on behalf of the historic tax credit.
The state finance,
It has, the Joint Finance had
Joint
their
Finance Committee had a
joint-
public hearing at Marinette High School in April, I forget which day. I spoke in favor of maintaining the Wisconsin State Tax Credit Program for Historic Preservation with no caps. The governor's proposed budget included a $10 million cap on preservation tax credits per year
For the whole state?
for the whole state, which would be eaten up within the first month or so of the year.
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
we had a letter drafted from the mayor. I got up and read it, and as well lobbied on behalf of that. So, or testifying, they call it.
Testify.
But yes, but we're trying. So we did a letter of support. We showed up. We actually even toured the Joint Finance chair here into 3 or 4 buildings. We brought them through Pete's Garage because he was saying that most of the projects he feels goes to larger municipalities like Green Bay because he's from Marinette. And we showed through some of the comments that I made that day that 65% of these projects actually go to smaller municipalities under 100,000. And we're able to comment on many of his, follow up with informational pieces to that. So I thought it was really nice, but he did come through and we toured Town Brewery, the parts that are being done, parts still to be done. And so we've put a big effort into trying to keep the no cap as part of the new budget. So just so you know, we're working hard on trying to keep historic preservation alive and well.
Would you like a letter from our commission? Would that help at all, or is it too, are we in
It may be
the
pretty-
process?
It's a bit late, I think.
It's a bit late?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
late.
The letter from the mayor probably has.
Okay,
a bit of
that's fine.
weight.
Yeah, we just do that and we
It's
can
a
do that.
small- That's a very small cap.
It is,
Oh, yeah.
it's,
I mean, the project I'm looking on in Fond du Lac, the state portion of that is $4 million in tax credits.
yep,
So
it's,
we
would
need
go
a
very quickly.
40% cap.
So.
One project.
Right. So what's the timeframe that, any timeframe on any of
Is
this?
it the July budget item or
I don't know when the budget is passed, but I
Well, I think
guess I
that-
feel optimistic. I know 2 years ago, in the previous biennium, they received a similar suggestion from the governor, and they did not follow that guidance, that wish, I suppose.
So as far as the people on the committee, is that still Nygren?
Yes.
Yes, it
And
was, and that's who toured John Nygren.
He's from Marinette.
He
You know
is.
him, right? Yes? No? Okay.
I did not have his sign in my yard.
I'll write that down.
So he may know me.
Well, you might have to reach out. All
He was
right.
He was receptive, he knows that the cap would be very debilitating to development in our communities. He does have to come up with a number, he doesn't know what that will be.
Especially commercial, because commercial, you get that cap.
So
Well,
anyway,
let's
we're
continue-
active
keep
on that
us-
piece.
Keep us in the loop on that too.
Next to downtown.
Great, thank you. Anything else, otherwise, so these are just updates, so we don't have to receive those,
it's okay.
just updates. Okay, informational, April meeting follow-up.
I just wanted to go over a couple housekeeping things. Since I missed the meeting in April, I reviewed the minutes and I wanted to just follow up with all of you. I know that there was quite a contentious situation with the South Madison property, with them not knowing that they needed to come and how did that get missed, that whole thing.
Right.
what I'm realizing is that there's a lot of human error when it comes to trying to get people to come to the commission to get approval for things that they don't need permits for. Because if someone calls our office and they say, do I need a permit for window replacement? We're usually like, nope, because you don't. So we're hoping that with the communication that Alderman Sawyer put in that asked for that to be looked at again, that we'd be able to do window siding and roof again. That would cut down on most of this entirely, because then when you call our office, the answer will always be yes. It won't just be, yes, if you're a historic property, you have to go through this process, versus everyone would just have to do it. So I'm hoping that that would cut down on some of this, and we're also taking some steps with our online software that we use for all our property tracking, so that way they have to go into the project every time that they want to talk to somebody about it, versus just picking up the phone and giving a yes or no answer. We're asking our inspectors to log into the property each time, so that way it does blink historic, so that way they're a little bit more familiar with what is historic and what isn't, so that way this doesn't happen.
So with the communication I did put in, to consider those, you know, the roofing, the siding, and the, what else?
Windows.
The windows, thank you. Is that more an ordinance-driven type of thing, that when we
Yes.
get to that point? So that's one of the caveats that we're utilizing as we move forward. So once that becomes an ordinance, is that something, Jason, you feel that could be incorporated right into the draft ordinance, or would that
It's
be a
a
separate item? Separate?
Separate thing altogether.
Okay, well, I want to keep moving forward on that, so I don't know.
It may be as easy as reverting to your old ordinance too. I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah, I was told this was going to P&W, but I'm not sure if that's correct.
Okay, so it should, so this is what the three elements that we were just talking about.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
'Cause
as
that would
long,
just
as
be-
long as, I did put a communication in, was that a month ago, a month and a half?
Yeah.
Seemed like a little while ago.
So once they discuss it, then we'll be able to, in inspection and planning, be able to change our ordinances to reflect that if it is approved.
Okay.
So that way everybody would have to get the same permits, so that way we kind of miss this falling through the cracks of,
I
well, do you
think-
live in a historic property, 'cause then you have to go.
Well, I think that was surprising to me. I thought that, didn't you bring that up,
We-
Susan?
And we talked about that years ago.
But it was
too,
kind of
with
like,
inspection
so we
department doing something.
we weren't doing anything about that. It was kind of like, these are elements of the building that are very important, but yet we're looking at the building one way and we're looking at these separate entities as something different. I didn't fully go with that, so, well, we'll try to deal with that. So we are moving forward on that, so. All right, so, anything else, Stephanie?
Just another reminder that if you want anything on the agenda, the Monday prior to the meeting is when I finalize the agenda items. And then we're gonna have it similar to exactly how you see it in front of you. So we had staff updates today on projects, so we put them on the agenda. If we don't have an update to give, we don't put it on the agenda. So it's kind of between Jason and I to discuss what projects we need updates on, what things we need approval on, and then at that point, we'll add those onto the agenda. So if there's anything throughout the month that you're thinking, man, we haven't heard about that in a while, I'd like an update, feel free to call either of us and we can tell you either, yeah, we haven't done anything, or we can put it on the next agenda for you.
Oh, okay. So June 5th would be the, you
Yes.
need it by June 5th, and that's by the end of the workday.
Mhm.
Okay. I was gonna mention too, that next month we were gonna do our, our awards. I made a executive decision to hold off till June. And the reason is, I mean, we have things with the hotel, we have things with, there was some other projects coming up, and it just seemed like, I think we need to just focus on that. So so we're shooting for June, and do you have a calendar for council offhand, or? I thought it would be, so I'm gonna talk with Celestine Jeffries, and we'll get it on for the council, probably the first meeting in June.
It would be the day after our meeting. So if we meet on the 12th, theirs would be on the 13th.
So, okay, so I will put in a communication to mention June 13th as when we give out our awards. And Roger and I are working on the Watermark building. Patty, you have already got your information pretty well, and you have pictures and such?
Not
mean-
any more than the ones that Jason had taken
Oh, okay.
last year.
All right, is there, well, I can talk with you, Jason, about that too. We can just put a brief PowerPoint together. Sure. So with those 4 properties in mind, you know, you're welcome to, if you can get out there and just, you know, photograph those for our benefit, that would help. So we're gonna shoot for June 13th. And then,
I found some historic images of the watermark too.
okay.
They're kind of nice.
Yeah, whatever we can add to that, that'd be great. All right, so that's my one little bit of advice. So you are, again, invited at 4:30 on Thursday at the Hotel Northland. I will contact all of you when we get confirmation on that.
So when are letters going out to the property owners?
For this?
Yes.
I would say the sooner the better, so I don't know if that's something that we can go
If I get
through.
the information, I can send them all out. We usually tell the property owners the week of the meeting, but we can send these out whenever, now that we
Or-
have the information.
Well, I mean, we're talking about like for the awards.
Mhm.
Okay, so if we get the information to Stephanie, she can mail that out to the owners. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, I didn't know if they'd been sent yet or.
No, they haven't. So I would suggest that we're gonna shoot for June 13th. If you could double check with Celestine Jeffries on this, just to make sure that we get it on the agenda.
And I assume
for
you guys want to
council.
have it here and then also at council? Or just at council do the awards?
We just have a reception beforehand.
Yeah, we usually have a reception at council, usually beforehand.
Okay.
So let's
In
just.
that room downstairs, the
Right.
room we used to, that
Yeah, we did
without
that,
isolated,
we did
just
that
walk
before,
down the
so
hall.
we'll, so if we, what do we meet, about a half hour before, was it an hour? I don't remember.
I think about a half hour.
About a half
is
hour.
adequate.
Yeah, so if you could, or even 6:15 if need be, or 6:30.
So I'll just contact
Six.
Celestine to set that up.
Yeah, set that up, and then if there's any questions, contact me, but I would say let's just move forward with that, okay? All right, next meeting will be Monday, June 12th, 2017. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Thank you, gang.